I first met Pragya when I was at Ethos Farm for philosopher Matthew Haltman's book reading. After the reading was over, Pragya took Matt on a tour of the farm, and I tagged along. Hearing her share not just the farm's history and their current work, but her connection to it and her desire to help people in a way Ethos and its staff had helped her was so moving. So, when a Toastmasters colleague randomly mentioned that he had a friend whom he thought would be a perfect guest for the podcast, and then he revealed it was Pragya, well, I was thrilled. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 127 of Did You Bring the Hummus podcast. I'm Kimberly, your host, and I am super excited to be here with you today. Did You Bring the Hummus is a podcast for all things vegan. Before we get started, I have one very important question for you. Did you bring the hummus? Today, I am joined by Pragya Thakur. Pragya is a national board-certified health and wellness coach, Upbuild-trained life coach, and a Master's of Public Health candidate at Boston University, studying lifestyle medicine, food policy, and environmental health. She's also a published writer whose work has appeared in the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Law Journal newsletter, and the National Health Association's magazine, Health Sciences. As I mentioned at the start, Pragya and I met at Ethos Farm to Health, a place where, with the help of founder Dr. Ron Weiss and his team, Pragya's health was transformed and her life forever changed. Now, a coach specializing in plant-forward transitions, Pragya brings both evidence-based methodology and what she calls systems thinking to behavior change. She's also certified to teach yoga for osteoporosis and draws on her Indian heritage to bridge cultural perspectives on plant-centered eating. Hey, Pragya, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me.
Hi, Kimberly. It's very nice to be here. It's my pleasure to be on your podcast.
I'm so excited for our chat. We have something in common that is so significant to both of us. So we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about your vegan journey.
Sure. So my vegan journey has happened in steps. And it started with the cruelty videos that showed up in my feed with, animals in little slats and the whole situation in DuPont, North Carolina, where residents' homes are being sprayed with all of this animal waste. And I was devastated when I watched that. And I thought, I cannot eat meat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So right after watching those videos, I stopped eating meat. This was like 2014. But for some reason, it didn't sink all the way in terms of dairy and fish and all of this stuff that I kept hearing, that you need protein in your diet. And, I was misguided. We all develop in stages. So I was eating fish and I was eating eggs. And this happened until 2018. And the rest of the journey, so the initial one was reaction to cruelty. And then the next stage was reaction to health challenges, because I developed all of these, standard chronic illnesses, hypertension, diabetes, et cetera. And I ended up going to my standard care physician, and he measured my blood pressure. It was through the roof. So he said, well, after a certain age, Pragya saw me for 10 minutes. After a certain age, men and women have the same physiology. You're going to get blood pressure pills and you're going to be on them for life.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I didn't know any better. So I started taking these blood pressure pills and nothing happened. It didn't make a difference to my blood pressure.
Mm.
So then I went back to him and he prescribed diuretics on top of this. So I took that too. Got to trust your doctor. And then I went to a Pilates class. And after, it was like a pretty sweaty class. And after I got done, we get on all fours and we're trying to wipe our, not trying to, we're wiping our mats and stuff. And I'm on all fours and I felt like I'm dying. I couldn't move. Like I was stuck to the ground. I couldn't move a single muscle. Uh, I was still thinking like, what's going on? Am I having a stroke? What's happening to me right now?
Mm.
And some ladies saw me and they physically lifted me up, put me on a chair. And then someone gave me water. And then I kept asking for more and more water. I think I drank like 12, 16 ounces
Wow.
bottles of water to feel normal again. And then I drove home and I thought, this is not working. I have to do something else. And then subsequently, soon after that, I was in a yoga class and the yoga instructor was someone who knew Dr. Weiss and Ethos. And she said, you should make an appointment with Dr. Weiss at Ethos. So I did, and he spent like 55 minutes to an hour with me. That itself was unusual. Like no doctor does that.
No.
And he took every kind of history, like delved into all of my background, my family history. And other than these chronic problems, I also had like a 2-year long eczema condition on my forearm. And I'd seen many dermatologists and it hadn't gone away. So this is where the good part came. Dr. Weiss saw that eczema and he said, so you are ovo-pescatarian? I said, yeah. He said, would you mind not eating any fish or eggs for a week? And then let's see what happens. So I said, yeah, I'll try it. And within a week, this thing that I'd had for 2 years and no one had been able to solve it, it vanished from my hand as if I'd never had it.
Wow.
And that just made me fall off my chair like, wow. Like all it took was giving up fish and eggs. I didn't know if it was fish or if it was eggs. I gave up both and I never touched that again. So since then, I've been fully vegan. So my journey was split into, the compassion as well as health. Yeah. And then since then, it's like, it's almost like I'd love to be an activist and spread the word. And I don't understand why anyone is compelled to eat meat. It's just beyond me.
Yeah, especially now, right? There's so much information. The word vegan isn't a word that people don't know anymore. It's out there. We all have, so many of us have access to the internet where we can look up things for ourselves and learn about stuff. And it does feel like what's the excuse? It's that they like it or it's tradition and they can't be bothered learning something new.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah.
And there's so much data on how bad red meat can be for you.
Yeah.
Like even if I don't know why you'd own a dog and still eat other animals, but pushing that aside, there's still health data. Like at least take care of yourself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you don't care about anyone else, do you care about yourself? And could you make a change for that?
Yeah. And the hope is that if you get really healthy inside out, then your mentality will change too. So you can see things in a bigger scope. And that's how it is. That's how it was. And it continues to strengthen day by day.
Yeah. Yeah. Same for me. It's like the longer I do this, the more I learn. And you think when you've been vegan for a long time, you're like, well, I've got to know all of the ways that we use animals and I must be aware. And then you find out something you hadn't even thought of. And you're like, holy moly, how did I not realize it? And also, my gosh, why are we using animals in every aspect of everything? It's absurd. Yeah.
They are not here to become fodder for us.
Right.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
souls.
Yeah, they are their own beings with interest in their own lives and their relationships and friendships and just
Yeah.
experiencing the world as who they are. And we're just,
Yeah. There
getting
was
in the way of
a
them.
book that I picked up. I'm sorry. It was about how things, I'm forgetting the title, but as long as it said, as long as we have slaughterhouses, we're not going to evolve as humans or something like
Oh,
that.
that sounds interesting.
So the world, we can't have hope from this world as long as there are slaughterhouses. I picked it up right away. I'm like, yes, of
Yeah.
course.
I would have
The
picked that
more
up too.
cruelty you ingest,
Yes. Yeah.
the more you put it out in the world.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've talked to a few people on the podcast. Jonathan Glass was one who I interviewed not too long ago. And he talked about that very same thing that, as long as we have slaughterhouses, like there will be war. And because there is just so much violence and how it sends that violence out in the energy out, but then also the people who have to become someone who just does this all
Yeah.
day long, every day as their job, like that has to change a person, you know?
Yeah, it just probably rewires you entirely
Yeah,
in terms of how much bandwidth you have for compassion
right.
probably affects that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. It's uh, that's why we're having this conversation. That's why we do the things that we do. And we try to inspire others and help others see that there's a different way. There's a way where we can be more aligned with the planet, with the other beings that we share this planet with, and that we can really help each other
Yeah,
and just make the world a better place through a really simple change.
right. And it's as simple as being humans. Being human means exercising choice, and
Mm,
that's why I don't understand
yeah.
why people feel compelled to eat animals, because pick up any religious text, like read John Steinbeck's East of Eden, and the last word in that book is thou mayest,
Mm,
meaning you always have choice. And as humans,
yeah.
we can look up to the skies, we can ask questions: why am I, why this, why that? Animals don't have this. They don't, maybe they do, but we don't know that they do. They don't act as if they have this kind of choice. They don't consent to any of this.
Right.
We have this, as we're higher beings enough that we have choice, and we should exercise it and
Mm,
always choose not to do harm
yeah.
to each other or to animals or to anything. And it's hard to understand why that doesn't come through.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe it is as simple as we get rid of the slaughterhouses and that can start to change. But how do we get rid of the slaughterhouses when there are still so many people who believe that they have the choice, the right, the responsibility to
Yeah.
keep eating animals? It
Yeah.
feels like kind of, hmm,
An uphill task. It's almost like, I hate to use the war metaphor, but it's almost like we have to wage some kind of war in our own way, a
right.
nonviolent war.
Yeah.
um, Try to change minds, and it's yeah. I guess it's also important to understand that we're streams and not machines, and we all have our own journey, just like my journey evolved in steps. I guess some of it is meeting people where they are and
Mm,
understanding the culture and
right.
the traps that keep them there, and I guess working with them. with compassion. Just
Yeah.
getting the message out there, I guess, is the best we can do, and hopefully it'll register.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. And like where we met at Ethos,
Mhm.
I think is a really good physical representation of that. You know, like you said, Dr. Weiss, as a patient, he spent almost an hour with you. And I've had that experience too with him. Only once was I able to see him, but it was the same thing. It was like an hour, and we really like dug into things, and the emotion that he shared with me
Mhm.
was like I'd never felt so cared for by a doctor before.
Yeah.
And then you like even just visiting Ethos Farm to Health and going to the doctor's market on the weekend to pick up the vegetables that they've grown there, you feel so cared for by the farmers, by Stephanie, by the food itself. Just being on the land makes you feel held and supported. And
Yeah.
that's because Dr. Weiss is showing up from this place of like true compassion and wanting people to be able to care for themselves and live their best lives and get rid of whatever chronic conditions that they can so that they can just be, free from so many things. And by doing that, now the animals are freer because people come to Dr. Weiss and they start to eat differently, and they're
Yeah.
not using animals in the same way that they were before they
Yeah.
got there.
And he never twists anyone's arm to stop doing things, but
Mhm.
people absorb that energy. Like when
Yeah.
you drive into Ethos, it's, I know Ethos websites and just the general motto is medicine from the ground up.
Hmm.
But there is so much else from the ground up. There's compassion and love, all of it from the ground up.
Yeah.
As soon as you drive into, well, when you're on the driveway reaching in, you see, you feel like you're on a higher plane.
Yeah. And I've had the opportunity to lead meditations there, sitting in the grass, and it's a different experience. There's something very special happening there.
Very different energy,
Yeah.
and you feel it. And yeah, and it attracts a certain kind of person as well.
Mhm. It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So, mm,
So, yeah, so that was Ethos was part of your journey, and now you're moving into wanting to work with people and help people in the same way that you've been helped. How do you do that, Pragya? How can people tap into what you're offering?
um, yeah, so a big part of my journey was after Dr. Weiss saw me and treated me. The ethos practice is to get the lifestyle coaches involved, and so many coaches at Ethos helped me stick to my plan. Um, uh, set up accountability and smart goals, and um, held pretty much holding my hand through the entire process.
Hmm.
The coach that I worked with first, because I have some cultural ties to food, being from an Indian background. And when I would say that I like to eat this or that, she took so much time to modify whatever it was
Hmm.
that, like, hey, I love sag paneer. Paneer is dairy, so with the tofu substitution, it's as good as, yeah, anything. So, um, so they helped me so much, and I was so inspired that I thought I want to pay this forward. So um, the best way to do that was to get a national board certification as a health and wellness coach. And I enrolled myself in a course, and I studied for 6 months and then took the exam. And for a year, I've been a national board certified health and wellness coach. And I've helped a lot of people, and getting lots of notes every day about how much they have been able to change their lifestyles and cut ties with the pleasure trap, and just realize that it's not just food, it's the 6 pillars of health.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people take sleep for granted, or they live with stress. They think they thrive in stress. So you need to um, work with them with compassion and hold their hands a bit. And so that's what I try to do, like talk to people and partner with them in their health journey. And they can find me and book an appointment with me by going to my website, which is pragyamthakur.com, and do for people what was done for me.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a great way to approach it too. Is it
Yeah.
you're meeting people where you are the same way Dr. Weiss and the coaches met you and helped you work through that process. And then, yeah, so for people to know they can come to you and kind of have that same, there's no judgment. They can share with you,
Right.
what they need, and you can help them find a way to get the best out of all of that.
Yeah. The no judgment, partnering space where someone is listening to you, because food is not just food. Food wears an aura around it of culture and
Yeah.
family ties and pleasure traps, so many things. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so much emotion and things connected to it. And sometimes even, trauma and food connecting that way. Sometimes food is the protector from it. Sometimes it
Yeah.
is a result of. And so, yeah, you're right. It is so much more than just like sitting down to eat this food. It's so
Yeah.
much deeper than that.
It really is. And in a non-judgmental coaching, partnering, co-creating space, it's easier to explore these notions and um, and to get somewhere with the health journey. And also, everything is health, right? Even I'm trained as a life coach as well, but everything in life is health.
Yes.
which is what made me also Ethos also inspired me to get my degree in public health, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
currently enrolled at in Boston University, working towards a master's in public health. And I've published many articles. While being a student, I was published in the Philadelphia Inquirer, where I was so taken by how people say the Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk wanting to go to Mars, and
Mhm.
and saying things. Neil deGrasse Tyson coming on and saying, "Well, we can go to other planets when we terraform it and make conditions habitable for humans." That made me think, we haven't even finished terraforming Earth yet.
Yeah.
How many people are dying because of health inequities?
Hmm.
How many people are dying in the cold and the heat because they can't afford temperature control?
Right.
And and I talked to someone from the Lehigh Valley Health Network because I wanted to interview them about their needs for a health coach for their community programs. And the person I spoke to, the vice president of community affairs, she said something that really struck me. She said, "I believe in lifestyle medicine and all of it, and I I can't implement it because the people in my community are unhoused. And if
Mm.
they're sleeping at night with one eye open, watching for dangers, how can I recommend anything? How can I recommend 8 hours of sleep to them?"
Yeah.
Uh, so, in that sense, I'm just saying all this because I feel inspired to do work that spreads this message that everything actually is health.
Mm-hmm.
If there are no sidewalks in your neighborhood, that's impacting your health because now you can't go out and walk.
Yeah.
If there are pharmacy deserts in your neighborhood because all of your Walgreens are closing, then that's impacting your health. If you live in a food desert, that's impacting your health. So that's basically the message I wanted to give people, to just become mindful, become conscious of all the ways in which health is impacted.
Yeah.
And that all came to me from spending my 4 or 5 years at Ethos.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible. You don't expect that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still learning so much. There's so much to learn around like the food inequities and the way that our system is so inherently racist and so just built for people who have money and who are housed and who have the ability to drive places. Because not only are there food deserts, right? Like we know there's food apartheid, where there are areas of cities that are intentionally kept from having access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And, the people who live there just get unhealthier and unhealthier because they simply can't get to where there is food like that being provided, where people can access fresh fruits and vegetables. And it's awful.
Yeah. And it's, and there's so much politics involved in this too, right? There's, I don't want to come on here and sound like a conspiracy theorist, but we're a very profit driven place. And McDonald's is cheap. Processed food is cheap. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., when he says he's going to eliminate red dye 40 from food, it's like, jazz hands everywhere. Yeah, he's doing so much. But red dye 40 isn't processed food. Is he doing anything to stop processed food? No. Because corporations that make processed food are all part of Citizens United. They're funding politicians, and nobody's listening to the farmer. Like nobody's spending droves of money at Ethos Farm to grow organic food. All the money is going into, Monsanto and Kellogg's and all of these people who are just filling up your aisles with junk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's how people stay sick. All of our chronic diseases, right? So
all of it ties together into this profit motive. Like someone has to get rich. And it doesn't matter. And when you talk about this, oh, you're a leftist, you're a socialist. those words come up.
Right. I know. And they think that they're like so offensive. But for me, I mean, you can call me whatever you want, people who get upset about my thoughts about these things. But for me, I believe that everyone deserves a safe place to live and everyone deserves to be able to feed themselves and their families.
Yeah.
And that is the moral baseline. And if the current system doesn't allow for that, we need another system.
We need to change it.
Yeah.
Healthcare cannot be a privilege. Healthcare has to be a right. Food has to be a right. All of it. What you said, there's there shouldn't be two thoughts about it. There shouldn't be debate about this. So there's a lot of work to do in that.
Yes, there is. It's like, I think Dr. Greger's the one who always says it. There's no big broccoli lobby going out there.
No, no, sadly.
Maybe that's us. Maybe we're slowly becoming big broccoli. All of the people like you and me who are just spreading the word.
Just that's what's gonna raising awareness. That's what we have to do. Maybe it will, and maybe we can plant seeds. Because until you plant seeds, you don't grow anything. So that's going to be our job. And it's distressing that in year 2025, I felt like we had made some gains before, but I feel
Right.
like we're backsliding. And another article that I presented to a publication was about there is so much out there about cooking in beef tallow now.
I know.
It
Oh,
is unbelievable to me that people are just jumping on this beef tallow bandwagon. It's making
mm-hmm.
me so angry, actually, because the state of Louisiana is the one that made passed a law or something that all restaurants will cook in beef tallow.
Wow.
And the way this starts is unnerving because in 2020, someone who's a beef jerky, beef tallow, beef product manufacturer showed up on Joe Rogan's show.
Oof.
And he said, seed oils are bad. Everybody should cook in beef tallow. And just from that, they ran with it. It just kept going more and more viral until seed oils are now being banned.
Mm-hmm.
And people are being told to cook in beef tallow. But this guest who was on Joe Rogan's show is actually, he owns a company with a partner where he sells beef products. So he
Mm-hmm.
has an interest in this thing going viral.
Yeah.
And nobody realizes this.
Right.
That
No one's asked, was this guy a doctor? Does he have a nutrition? Like, is
nothing.
he a
It's
nutritionist? Like,
just suddenly everybody's like, let's cook in beef tallow. There's that chain, Steak and Shake, I guess, on the West Coast, who started it first. Like, let's cook in beef tallow. And now I'm seeing it all over.
yeah.
Cook in beef tallow, kill more animals, and
And
clog
more
up your
people.
and clog up your arteries.
Yeah.
Your arteries will go from this to closed
Mm.
up.
Yep.
And I'm also SOS free, so I don't do oil. So
Mhm.
I'm agnostic to seed oils or not. But if you compare seed oils to beef tallow, I'm going to side with seed
Yeah,
oils.
me too.
Beef tallow, you know. And they call it unhealthy. It's just a balance in the ratio of omegas.
Mhm.
You manage your omega ratio, and seed oils are fine, but no, people don't do all that research. It's just, oh, uh, our health secretary is saying beef tallow, so let's just all switch to beef tallow. And let's not get vaccinated. And,
It's pretty horrific,
yeah,
the willingness of a large group of people to not even think. They just hear something and just
yeah.
go with it. And
Because it supports something that they believe, I guess.
yeah, that's what it is. There's
It's
something in that they're like, I like this, or I want to do it. And they don't question. Like, I remember like my whole life being told, like, question everything and make sure that you're getting into, like, asking the right questions and digging into stuff. And then as I was like going through college and stuff, the idea of like, what is the source? Question the source. Who is it coming from? Where did you read it? Where are they quoting from? And you got to go and dig. And when the source is some dude with a company on Joe Rogan, come on.
question it. The least you can do is question it, like dig into the background of this guy. But no, it's just, I think there's a word for it, right? Affirmation or confirmation bias. It's
Mm-hmm.
hearing is supporting their own thinking. And um, yeah, uh, I guess people also at some level feel guilty about the whole eating animals and, um, so they feel bad when someone says it. It's like a cognitive dissonance that also
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And the only time they feel it is when someone like you or me, we don't even have to say
Yeah.
anything. Sometimes we just show up and they find out we're vegan, or they try to
Yeah.
serve us something and we tell them we're vegan. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, and everything. It's like a personal affront to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We start looking like holier than thou people. And
Right.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so much can be said about all this.
I do think we're here to be the disruptors to make an important change. And we are very small in number around the world still, but we're growing. And, before we hit record, you and I quickly talked about how it feels like, and it doesn't just feel like, we're seeing it happen. That you said exactly, veganism is taking a hit right now, and it hurts to see that happening. And it hurts to see incredible places like 11 Madison Park in New York City, who made this incredible change to be a vegan restaurant and earn the Michelin stars. And then to be like, you know what? I think people miss having duck on the menu, so I'm putting it back on. And just
Yeah,
so disappointing.
it is completely disappointing, devastating. Like, what went through your mind that you
Yeah.
decided to make this move? Why
Right.
is it finally okay to serve duck? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because he wasn't even just now I've seen that some people who go plant-based because it's for their health or whatever, it's very easy for people like that to slide back. And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm feeling better, I'm doing better. I can add a little bit of this, a little bit of that." And it makes sense to me because they haven't made that deeper connection to who they're eating. It's still a what am I eating? And he did not come out like that. Chef Daniel Hume was like, I'm understanding the cruelty. I'm understanding that we can do beautiful food without animals, without hurting animals. And that was very much part of what he talked about when he made the change to make it a vegan restaurant. How do you forget that? And like you said, how does
Yeah,
it
how do
not?
you go back to cruelty? Like, what makes you return to cruelty?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Oh, I used to be cruel. Now I'm going to be gentle. I'm tired of being gentle. Let me be cruel again. It's
Yeah.
more fun. It's crazy. And yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's when I read it, I was just flabbergasted that that had happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're seeing other restaurants that are either, that have either closed, vegan restaurants that have closed, or vegan restaurants that have now have an option. Everything's vegan, but if you want to add, chicken eggs on, that's now an option. And some people, I've heard some vegans go, well, do you want them to close? And then we don't have anywhere that understands what we're eating, and they're only doing it so they can bring in and make money so they can stay open. And I don't know. Look, I don't own a restaurant, so I don't know
Don't know
exactly.
the economics.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I always think when I react this way is like, what is the compassionate thing
yeah.
we can do
Hmm.
to, is there like a middle ground? Like, how can we meet in the middle? But I can't find that answer because there can't be a middle ground when one end is cruelty free and one is cruel. Like,
Right. Yeah.
the answer has to be cruelty free.
Hmm. Yeah. When one of the options is we start taking someone's life again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't know how to be like, yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
because it doesn't.
Yeah. And it's complete objectification.
Hmm.
You're treating living animals like objects. And then there's the other wonderful, when you say this sort of thing, the people who react with, oh, plants feel pain too. It's like, oh, stop talking to me now.
Yeah. Like, okay, you don't. All right. Do you know what a nervous system is? Like, come on.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. And, some people don't. Some people hear that. It becomes a buzz phrase, right? Oh, plants feel pain. And then they hear that and they go, oh, I'm going to use that against the next vegan that says something to me. And
yeah.
they don't bother, again, like we were saying before, they don't bother to dig into it. Where does that come from? Who said that first?
Who said that? Yeah. And also, if okay, by your logic, if plants feel pain and animals also feel pain, and we have to eat something to sustain ourselves. Would I guess you're saying you'd rather hurt animals, you know?
And also, like, animals, if we think from a just what we can observe, we don't even have to know anything about either of them. Animals have the ability, like we do, to move away from a source of pain, to react to it and to move away. Plants do not.
Right.
That seems so, like, especially because I hear this from a lot of people who lean on religion too. Not everybody, but a lot of people who say these things to me lean on religion. And then, so my question is, if a plant can feel that much pain and they can't get away from the source, we need to talk to whoever made these plants, because this is like the ultimate cruelty. So, like, what is this about?
Yeah, right. And if you go back to your scriptures, Bible tells you, I forget which verse it is, but Jesus says, I've provided all of these herbs and plants and things for you to eat. It's there. I quoted it in my book as well. So it's not like he's telling you go eat animals.
Right. No. Yeah. So you mentioned the book. Tell me about this book.
So this book was inspired by, of course, Ethos again, with my health journey, Dr. Weiss. And so I wanted to, the impact on my health was so unbelievable and so beyond comprehension with just switching to plants, how much of a transformation I had in my health journey, that was the inspiration for the book. And I'm not a doctor, so I wanted to write from the patient's perspective. Mm-hmm. And in my family, there has been a lot of chronic illness, specifically non-alcoholic liver disease has been a big part of my dad's side of the family. My dad succumbed to it in 2015, and not just my dad, but four of his siblings also passed away from liver disease.
Wow.
And they didn't have this kind of guidance. And the things that I was able to reverse under the care of Dr. Weiss, if they had gone unchecked genetically, I was predisposed to having that same journey. So that was the impetus. I wanted to write a book that was part memoir, family history, and part my journey, and then base it on the 7 pillars of health, and how each one, and I have like personal anecdotes for each one, like how important sleep is and how important nutrition is, and how what's happened in my family, and then what happened to me now, and then advice and guidance on what people can do with their health. And then in the end, there's there's like a companion thing with recipes and techniques and tips and all of that. So it's a labor of love. People who've shared it who I've shared it with have said that it really made an impact on them. And when I used to work at Ethos, I had shared some of the chapters with Dr. Weiss. Like, he used to call me. He asked me, "Can you read the first chapter to me?" Like, I was getting his opinion on it. And the one thing that he was very impressed with was something I called the slow creep. And it's because when all of this happened to me, I didn't even realize I was sick. As most people don't even realize there's anything wrong. Hypertension is a silent killer. You never feel any symptoms. So I felt fine, but all of my choices in life were resulting in this slow creep of things. that brought it to the point where, okay, you're no longer healthy, Pragya. So that was a concept that I wanted to explain, how you have to be mindful and alert and, empowered to take control of your own health
Yeah.
rather than, going to a 5-minute appointment with a doctor who tells you, hey, after a certain age, men and women have the same physiology and you're stuck with this for life, and trial and error of medicine. Just be empowered, make the right choices, and this slow creep can be reversed.
Yeah. Where can people find your book?
It's still being pitched. It hasn't found its published form yet, and I will keep you posted on when it does. I'm thinking I might even self-publish it on Amazon.
Okay. And just in case, when this episode goes out, it's not published yet and a listener knows how to get it published, please reach out to Pragya. Her contact info will be in the show notes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it sounds amazing, and I can't wait to read it when it has come out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Pragya, this conversation has been amazing. I cannot believe that we've already been chatting for an hour.
I know. Where did the time go?
I know.
Have so much to talk about. It's been my pleasure as well. We had a very engaging conversation. I felt like, we're kindred souls here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got one more question for you.
Yeah.
How does hummus show up in your life?
So hummus, I was just having a delicious bowl of hummus yesterday with pita. And I was thinking about your show, and it shows up the most important. I wrote some notes on it. It shows up as a bridge. It's a bridge food. Like so much of what I think about is connections. The whole ethos experience is about regenerative farming and full circle of life. And hummus gets you connected. Like you can eat it with anything. It's like the bridge to health. You can flavor it any way you want. It's full of protein. It's delicious. It's like an easy to reach food, easy to make, easy to prepare, and I really think of it as a bridge food. It's systems thinking in action with infinite variation and use, and just join things together with hummus when you're transitioning from one thing to another. Great question. I'm so happy you asked your guests that.
And kind of building off your the connection piece, it's a food that is so easily shared.
Yeah. At potlucks and when you're sitting together with other like-minded kindred souls and there's a pot of hummus there, it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to share some hummus with you at Ethos someday soon.
Yes, one of these days at a meditation session.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Maybe we could do something like that. I'll pitch it to Stephanie. We'll make it like a half-day thing so it's worth your drive out.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, Steph's telling me to come to Ethos so much too. It's hard. It's a hour and 10 minutes drive for me. So
yeah.
Yeah. But it's got to happen.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to it.
It's been my pleasure, Kimberly. Thank you so much for having me as your guest.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pragya. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Welcome back. To connect with Pragya, visit her websites, pragyamthakur.com and paperbell.me/Pragya-Thakur. You can follow her on LinkedIn at Pragya M. Thakur, find her on Substack at From Soil to Soul, and on Medium at pragya.thakur_60986. As always, the links will be in the show notes so you can click right in and get right there. I hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring. Please subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you're loving it, please give Did You Bring the Hummus a 5-star rating and leave a review. It's an easy way to keep supporting the show. Be sure to share these episodes with your friends. If you're finding something good here, they will too. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Did You Bring the Hummus, and visit my website, didyouBringTheHummus.com, for more information about me, updates on what I'm working on, new podcast episodes, and all things vegan. Tune in next time for my interview with philosopher and professor John Sanbon-Matsu, author of The Omnivore's Deception. Thanks for listening.